Hi, this is Jay from Ayaba's Wind. I'm here to give you your reading for January 2026. I hope all has been well. Your reading for Virgo, the sign of Virgo, leads with true love comes, okay? So they're saying that if you don't already have true love is entering into your life. Just keep in mind the reading can cover the recent past, what's happening now, or in the near future. Okay, and it's leading with love, but it's talking about being careful of betrayal. Okay, be careful of betrayal from friends, from family, and from lovers. Okay, it's talking about that you know dark magic has been done. There's been some brujeria, witchcraft, some obia, some dark magic that has been worked. And at this time, it's really important for you to not wear black if you can help it. Okay, if you got to wear black to work, that's fine. Balance it out with white, underwear, undergarments underneath. Okay, Spirit is saying that if you have a son, a child, a male child, this male child is going to bring you really good luck. Okay, so it's really important to honor that child, that male son, not to spoil the child, but to honor the child. Okay, if you have a male child, because they're saying that this child, this male child, is going to bring luck and blessings and is going to be spiritually gifted. At this time, it's really important for you to not be around like sick people. Okay, if you have to go visit someone in the hospital, that's fine, but just be very careful of being around sick people. Make sure you're, spiritually cleaning off. You're taking spiritual baths. You can use some Florida water to clean off after you, do the visit in the hospital. And when you go to the hospital, do not stand at the foot of the bed and don't stand at the head of the bed. Try to stand in the middle of the bed where the person's waist is, okay? When you're aside of the bed, okay? They're also talking about it's really important for you to do spiritual cleanings again, only because there are some, things that are moving around you, that have been moving around you, that you need to kind of block and buffer, okay? And so a lot of spiritual baths are going to be necessary at this time. You can do herb baths. You can do a 7 or a 9 herb bath that you can find on originalbotanica.com or your local botanica. Also, you can get it at Amazon, okay? And as a result of this betrayal that's around you, Spirit is saying that, you definitely need to chant mantras for protection, okay? As much as I'm a priest initiated in the Afro-Cuban tradition, I also practice in Hinduism. And so there's two beautiful mantras, very easy to remember. The one is Om Ayudaye Namaha. Om Ayudaye Namaha. And the other mantra that you can chant is Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. And if you have the mala beads, I have some mala beads here. See if I can pull them out. These are the mala beads used in Hindu practice. Okay, there's 108 beads on this necklace, okay? And you'll see the tassel. You always start down near the tassel. You put your middle finger to support the beads. This middle finger is the furthest away from the ego, so that's why you use this finger. And then you push through with your thumb closest to the tassel, and you push through saying each mantra. Om Ayudaye Namaha. Om Ayudaye Namaha. Om Ayudaye Namaha. And you work your way around until you hit 108. If you don't have mala beads, you can set the timer on your cell phone, like about 10 minutes. And you can say it fast, say it slow, sitting in lotus, laying down, whatever it is you feel comfortable, and say it, okay? Because they're saying that there's some real negative energy around you. There's people that are, really scandalous around you and that have ulterior motives. And they're saying, at this time, there's a lot of revolution happening around you, a lot of changes, okay? And so revolution is necessary in order to get out of one cycle and move into the next, okay? So you're definitely going to have to brace yourself if you have not been bracing yourself already. They're saying also, too, if you see birds like if your attention is particularly brought to like um crows, blackbirds, and things of that nature, the birds are also giving you warnings of, just be aware of your surroundings. And this is not for you to be paranoid, walking around paranoid, but you got to handle your business spiritually, okay? And Spirit is talking about traps that could be set. It could be gossip traps. It could be pregnancy traps. It could be traps in contracts, written contracts. So Spirit is talking about this, all right? And Spirit is saying, if you are in a relationship or if you're in a marriage, you definitely got to watch out for, what's happening in your marriage, okay? Because Spirit is talking about there could be treachery, okay? There could be, some challenges there, or people coming into your connection and trying to pull you apart, tempt you apart. Okay. And Spirit is talking about that at this time. But also it's talking about, you cannot do threes. Okay. You cannot do threes, especially in love, at this time. So that means that, if it's you and your special person, you can't have a side guy, side girl, definitely not a husband, definitely not a wife, because this will lead to chaos. This will lead to stalking, and potentially the ending of a life, if you know what I mean. So Spirit is saying, at this time, please be careful of that. All right. Spirit is saying that the people who wronged you, they're definitely going to get their karma. They're definitely going to get their punishment in this season for the next couple of months. Spirit is talking about, you have someone that is very much into you, very much in love with you. And it's represented by the Queen of Cups. And so, but also too, it's, talking about the possibility for pregnancy, at this time, because it shows the Queen of Cups with fish. Okay. And, I'm, Cuban and I'm Puerto Rican, and we know in the Caribbean, when you dream about fish, when you see fish, that representation means fertility. It also means pregnancy. It has the moon in reverse, which came reverse. Okay. And so Spirit is saying that things that are hidden are going to be revealed. And some of these things may be shocking to you. Okay. And it's not for you to, go into despair and to be nervous about, but Spirit is saying that, there's going to be revelations. And so, there could be revelations about someone, and I don't want to say a feminine energy. I'm just saying, it could be feminine or masculine, but someone who, and this card came reversed, someone who is very divisive, very manipulative, and who has evil or dark intentions. Okay. This could be a seductress, or a male who is a seductor, if that's even a word, but someone who is trying to, a karmic essentially, that is trying to lure you away from your blessings. And so Spirit is talking about that. It's talking about the Three of Cups, which is reversed. And when I get this, Three of Cups reversed, it also talks about, again, not doing threes. You should not be doing threes in love. You should not be doing threes in business. It shouldn't be you and two other people. Okay, because Spirit is saying that this will introduce scandal, and that these two people could wind up sabotaging the business connection, and essentially throwing you under the bus, and compromising your business. Okay, so Spirit is talking about this. It's talking about the Six of Coins. And so it's saying that definitely mind your money, but that there's also going to be like an equal give and take. If you decide to pursue this Queen of Cups, or King of Cups for that matter, this person that represents true love, that could be your divine feminine, your divine masculine. Spirit is saying that is going to be a good connection for you, give and take. Okay. The cards are also talking about, again, and this is a double confirmation on brujeria. There's been someone in your love story, and someone in your in your circle that has worked witchcraft, obia, brujeria, dark magic. Okay. And these energies are being directed at you. Okay. So Spirit is talking about being careful of doing a deal with the devil. Okay. And so, Spirit is essentially saying doing a deal with the devil, not only in paper contracts, but also doing the deal with the devil and getting into a romantic connection with someone that is not good for you. Okay. That it may, look very appealing. The person may be very attractive, very seductive, but Spirit is saying that in the end, you are not going to do well with this person. And it could be also talking about contracts as well, but it's saying that you gotta be careful. You could be sleeping with the enemy, all right? And we know that sleeping with the enemy can, result in someone going a little cuckoo, stalking, that could potentially lead to something more dangerous. Okay, so Spirit is talking about that. I could be, speaking to, and this is pertaining to you, if you have some level of fame with you. Okay, so you could be famous watching this. Or you could be connected to someone who's famous, or that you could at some point be gaining some level of fame. And I'm not talking like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Ben Affleck, J-Lo kind of fame. Maybe, maybe. But it could be that you are, well known in the community. You could be doing work in the community. It could be that someone fell in the train tracks, and you rescued them, and now people know you. Okay, and so it's different levels of fame, but Spirit is saying that you have some level of notoriety with you. Okay, and this message is particularly pertaining to you. They're saying for you at this time, very important to wear a quartz, okay, a clear quartz, to deflect away negative energies that are being directed at you at this time, okay? And it's important for you to wear it around your neck, okay? I see a lot of people wearing it around their wrists, which is, cool. Wear something around your neck, and it doesn't have to be like this big chunky, quartz. But you should be wearing something for protection, okay? Spirit is talking about you have an affinity towards a warm tropical environment, okay? So you could either be planning a vacation to a warm tropical environment, you could be from a warm tropical environment, or that your ancestors are from a warm tropical environment, okay? But there is definitely a strong connection, affinity, with this location, okay? At this time, it's saying be careful in cars and around cars, okay? There's a potential for potential car accidents, potential for if you are crossing the street, you being on your cell phone, that is not a good look, okay? Especially with this energy around. So please be careful crossing the street while driving. Do not be engaged in really intense emotional conversation, okay? Because Spirit is saying that there could be some kind of car accident at this time. And I read someone maybe like a month ago, and they got this card. And so this card, was pertaining to them, but indirectly. Their child, of course, could drive, but they were driving the car and they banged up. The car was totaled. Okay, so Spirit is saying just be careful of being in cars, okay? And they're also talking about at this time, drinking alcohol and using drugs and substances is not advised, okay? You got to really keep your head. There's a lot going on in the world. And especially if you have people, tirando brujeria, they're throwing witchcraft, they're doing obia work, and different kinds of things. You gotta be alert. Remember, these substances, yes, they make you feel so good, okay? And, it's kind of like an escape, but, it also lowers your vibration. It lowers your frequency, okay? And it opens you up to being susceptible to spiritual attacks, to you being consumed by these dark energies, these dark entities that can enter into your body and create chaos. They can cause sickness. They can destroy relationships, cause you to lose your job, and attract a whole heap of like negative energy, okay? But also Spirit is saying that at this time, you know, if you are drinking too much, if you're smoking too much weed, you know, popping too many pills, whatever, and this is a judgment-free zone, but Spirit is saying that it can open you up to spirit possession. Okay, why do you think they call alcohol spirits? Okay, people start acting really strange. Their inhibitions get lowered. Okay, and you know, I've been at parties when glass starts breaking, when the bottles are popping. Okay, and so this is spirit letting you know that they're there, but also that, you know, if you drink a lot, you are open to getting possessed by spirits. Okay, and this is just what it is. You do have gifts from God coming, so this is a good thing. Okay, and you can work with Archangel Sandalphon. You can you know, look up some prayers and ask for guidance for that. But Spirit is saying that they're going to be blessing you with gifts, but you got to be open to receiving them. You got to be alert. You got to be aware. Okay, and not be distracted by negative things that are happening directly in your life, but indirectly around you, around people, but also what's happening in this world. Okay, and so Spirit is saying spread your wings. Okay, but this card came reverse. Here it is, came reverse. And so Spirit is saying that, you know, you have some fear, you have some apprehension, there's some doubts. Okay, and Spirit is saying that, you know, at this time it's very important for you to pray to get through that. All right, to overcome your fears, to have faith in whatever it is you believe in. You know, whether you're a Buddhist, Jehovah Witness, a Muslim, you know, you're in the Lukumi, you know, Santeria, Ifa, you know, African traditions, you know, if you practice voodoo, whatever it is you practice. Okay, Spirit is saying that you got to surrender and you got to have faith. Okay, you got to know and believe that, you know, things are going to get better. Okay, and that things are going to change and going to work in your favor. Okay, so this has been your real quickie reading for the sign of Virgo for January 2026. If you'd like a reading, you can DM me or email me at ayabas, AYABAS, wind, WYND 999 at gmail.com. Ciao.